Hello there, everybody. It's great to see you here on Crossy's Corner, and what a fab guest this evening that we have tonight. Karolien, Florijn, welcome to Crossy's Corner.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Nice.
It's a real pleasure and a privilege. I've watched your races this year with kind of like amazement, really, by the margins you've won by has been fantastic. And it's great to see a new kid on the block in women's sculling.
Yeah. I didn't know it would go so well, but I'm happy with the results. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just start. You've had a few days off now, I gather.
Yeah, we have after Poznan we are 1 week off. So a lot of people are now in holidays, and I'm also happy because I had some exam for my study, and I'm going to move as well. So it was nice. It is nice to have a week off.
Wow. Now, just explain. I think I know why you've got a week off because the Dutch team aren't racing in Lucerne.
No, unfortunately, we don't go to Lucerne, but we are going to. Well, the most important race now is going to be the World Championships, and we will also go to the European Championships.
Yeah. And do you know which boats you will be racing in at the Europeans and the Worlds?
No, I don't know yet. We will have some evaluations next week, and I don't know exactly what the plan is and if they want to swap certain boats or people. I don't know yet.
Oh, that's really interesting. So, are you're going on a training camp? I think
we will go on a training camp directly after the European Championships. We will go to Austria in altitude camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you won't be going on a training camp in between now and the European Championships. You'll be based in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I think we're going to stay in Amsterdam in between.
Yeah.
On the Bosbaan, and on the Amstel we are rowing.
Yeah. Because the Dutch women's team particularly, has been on fire this year. There's been some amazing results.
Yeah, it's going very well. Yeah, it's nice. We have some changes, as you will know, because our former head coach is now in the United States, and we are all now like a big team with Ilko Meinhorst. He is now the head coach, and so we have some new coaches as well, because my coach right now is Michelle Darville from Canada. So yeah, a lot of changes within the team, and until now it's going very well. So yeah, it's nice.
So tell us how you came to be in the single this year. Was that your decision or somebody else's decision?
Well, we do a lot of training in the single scull, and also we had some selections. So on the erg and in the single scull, and my performance there were not too bad. So of course you have some conversation with the coaches, and it was an option for me to race in a single scull, and I was very excited to do that, and I wanted to give it a try. So that's how I ended up racing in the single scull.
Is it more or less pressure when you're racing in the single than in a crew boat?
For me, there was more pressure, especially the first race in Belgrade. It was really, there was a lot of pressure because I don't know, maybe it's going to be nothing, and so you are all by yourself, so you are not really sharing the pressure like when you are in a crew. You share the pressure, and now it's all by yourself. But after, I really enjoyed, and it was easier to handle the nerves. Yeah.
I thought that because I looked at the way you celebrated in Belgrade when you crossed the line.
Yeah, it was a big relief that it was.
Yeah. So talk us through that World Cup regatta. Maybe the entry wasn't quite as strong as the one you'd expect in the World Championships, but there was some really good scullers entered for that race.
Yeah, so me, I never watched really the entries, so before I don't really know. So I looked to my right and I saw the Austrian single sculler, and I was like, oh, okay, pretty good. But so yeah, like you say, in total there are also some other really good single sculler that were not yet there at the World Cups. But yeah, I think it was pretty alright, and speed was not too bad. So yeah, there were not everyone was there, but you got to do something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you race, what kind of tactics do you try and adopt? Do you try and get out fast, or are you steady out and then try and move through in the second 500 or the third 500? What's your how's your race plan developed?
I try to be fast from the start, and then to do the effort that is necessary. And if something is left at the end, I try to do that as well. Yeah, it's not very complicated, to be honest. I'm not. Yeah, I don't have. For example, the talk with the coach. Yeah, it's not really long because it's not really. Yeah, not really complicated. I think.
What's the best part of your race for you? Which is the bit that you think you're most good at?
I think my second 1,000 is the best. Yeah, I'm more long endurance. So yeah.
So this year you came in the single. How often do you get coached by Michelle?
Well, she is biking along with us, and they also try to develop independent athletes. So the idea is that you don't need to hear every stroke if you do it. Not we do a lot of kilometers, and basically you also, because of that, you learn to row efficiently, and they take some video, and after you have a chat about it. What does the coach think? How do you feel about it? Or of course, when you struggle with something, you come up to the coach and you speak about it in that way.
So is that Ilko's program or Michelle's program that you follow?
Well, Ilko, we also have some I always struggle with that word, physiologist.
Yes, a sports physiologist.
Yeah, exactly. So they make the program, of course, with Ilko. He is also behind that program. So I think that's really nice. Now we have really a big team. Like Ilko, he is on top of everything. We have the coaches that support us and coach us, of course. And we have the physiologists that keep track of what we are doing, and they set out the program. So I think it's really a nice team environment, and every person in this circle is very important for the performance. It's a big team around the athlete in that way.
And how much has the training program changed since the one under Jose Verdonschot?
It changed a lot for us. Well, I like it. It's more it's long, and it was really different with Yossi's program. It was more. I'm not sure how much you can say about this.
No, I know it's a difficult question. Sorry, you don't have to answer that.
It's different. It's different what we are doing now, and I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you train competitively or just mainly by yourself in the single?
Well, we train together in the single, but it's not always smart to do it competitive because, then you're going to be broken at the end of the week.
Yeah.
So you choose your moment, and sometimes you can look for the competition. And this is also, I really like to do competitions, but sometimes you have to be okay. Today is not the day. maybe you can't do it every day. So you have to learn that and to be smart in that way. But yeah, you can choose the competition if you want to, but not always. No. So it's to row together and to see, with who can I beat if you want to row together. Okay, she can, or he, she can have the same speed, and we are going to row together. Yeah.
So when you came back from Belgrade, you must have been very pleased with your results there. What did you think for the next World Cup? What was your thoughts and what was your plans? Because in Poznan the competition looked like it was going to be stronger.
Yeah, well, I was happy that I raced in Belgrade, because like that I knew I had some. I was able to have some speed internationally in a single. So it gave me some confidence, and so I was looking forward to race again in Poznan, and it worked out pretty well. So I was happy.
So tell us about your race in Poznan, that final, because you were racing the 5th place sculler in the Olympics, Janine Gemellen.
Yeah.
Who was on good form.
Yeah. So the conditions were not the easiest, because as you know, it was a crosswind, strong crosswind, but it went pretty alright. And I knew that she's a very strong single sculler, so and she stayed with me during the first 1200 meter, 1000 meter. And of course, I know she's a very strong single sculler, so it didn't surprise me. But after, I was happy that I was still capable to make some distance.
Yeah, she had a real push around the second 500 meters, didn't she? She kind of was just maybe half a length behind you, I seem to remember.
Yeah. It was it was nice, to have a battle, and she's a very good single sculler, so yeah, it was nice to race her, and
And then in the third 500, you pulled away again, and you were getting hit by some really strong gusts of crosswind, I remember.
Yeah, sometimes it's because sometimes it was really strong, like it hit you in one time, and there was it was really strong, and I was like, okay, I have to handle this, and I tried to make some distance when it was not strong like that, and to maintain stable and not make some mistake with the crosswind, because it was not easy.
Yeah. And then you managed to move out on Janine in the last 500 meters, and you won by quite a good margin. You must have been really pleased by that distance.
Yeah. To be honest, during the race, I don't feel like that, because I have the impression they are still chasing me and they are not too far away. And so I always feel the pressure, to increase and to
Yeah. And what about your technique? What kinds of things do you work on in terms of your technique in single sculling? Has it always been the same, or have you changed a lot this year since you've been concentrating on the single? What sort of differences have you noticed in your technique of the stroke?
Well, I know that's a little bit my style, is that I tend to be really early with my back. I like to take directly the pressure. So I like to postpone that. Is that correct to say it?
Oh yeah. Just hang with the back a little more.
Yeah, exactly, and to have a little bit more left at the end instead of directly using my back too much. That's the main thing I hear and I work on.
Yeah.
It's hard to get it totally out.
What's been the reaction in the Netherlands to your success in the single? Because it kind of, I know that there's a lot of gold medals the Dutch women won in Poznan, but your result kind of stands out. 2 gold medals and in the women's single, which is a really sort of important event.
Well, yeah, for a lot of people, you know, because you see already in the training in the single, okay, you can have some speed, it's not going too bad, but most people don't know that, and only when you row an international competition like this, they see, oh, she did pretty good job, and they're like, oh, that's nice, and it's really nice, you know, to have the messages. But yeah, so I think for some people, it was more a surprise than, well, for me, of course, it was also a surprise, but I knew I was not really bad. Yeah, so you know, like, that's, I think, why some people are surprised, because yeah, you only know, you only they only see it when you do it in an international competition.
Is there any part of you, Karolien, that is thinking or dreaming of what would it be like to do the Paris Olympics in the single scull?
Yeah, well, it's still a little bit far away and maybe early to think about that, but I really like to race the single, and it's yeah, I really like this boat, and but I also like to row in a cruise, so it depends what also with what the coaches, what idea they have, and I have to see with them how it's going to be. And yeah, you know, maybe you change and you try other boats, because like every country, you have to see where are the possibilities
Yeah.
um, to win medals during the Olympics. So I don't know on which boat they think it's the best. It's the best to do that.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that, you know, after having won a silver in Tokyo, you really want to change that into a gold medal in Paris.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, like, you know, it was very close. We were 0.3 seconds behind Australia, and we knew they were very strong, because during the qualification they have beaten us by, I think, 2 seconds or more than 2 seconds. But after there was the Corona pandemic, so we didn't see them until the final in Tokyo. So that was really exciting, and so finally they have beaten us, and yeah.
That's crazy, because that was such a close final race. To think that you raced them in 2019 at the Worlds.
Yeah.
Where they were that 2 seconds in front of you, and then you never raced them again until the Olympic final in Tokyo.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't know. Well, you know that you have tried your best, and so that's why, of course, we were happy with our medal. But you never know, you know, how much have they developed, how are they at the start, and you only
Yeah.
know at the finish. So just a
How
bit.
how good was your row in that final? Was there anything more that you could have done, or was that the best race that you could have put out?
I think it was the best race you could have put out. Yeah, of course, you know, well, so you have some question maybe in your head, but there's no sense to have some question and to ask yourself, because you have raced the race, and I think we have done our best performance. So,
Yeah. So tell me about that Olympic build up with coronavirus, when the Olympics were postponed. If you can remember back then, you were training for the Olympics in 2020. What was your reaction to the postponement of the Olympics?
yeah, well, every time it was like, you know, not certain. A lot of things got cancelled, and well, it was the best decision to also cancel the Olympics, I think, and very happy that it was finally post 1 year later. And I think we handled it pretty well, because it's like, you know, you have to also postpone your life with 1 year, because everyone
Yeah.
planned. Well, Veronique was going to do internship, Ellen was going to have a job and another life, and you're like, okay, 1 year later. But it was like one day later it was like, okay, so we do it 1 year later. So that was really nice that everyone was pretty soon, to switch and be like, okay, you're going to use this 1 year to become even better than we are now. So that was really, I think, a good mindset and of all the team. And actually, we used the time. Yeah, I had a good time, I think, because there were some restrictions also in Holland, and we were still able to do some training. Then for a period in smaller boats, and we had some rates here in our flat, so we were still able to do some training, and I think like that we went pretty well through this period, because it was pretty long. There were no races, no competition until the European Championships in October 2020.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was not what you wanted ideally, but all the world has had a lot of problems. So I think we got that.
Do you think you were a faster boat in 2021 than you would have been at the Olympics if they'd have been in 2020?
I think we have used the time to even improve. Yeah, so I think we were faster than 2020.
Yeah. And when you went into that 2021 season, you were very successful. I think you won the Europeans in October.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
And then you were successful in all the World Cups and the European Championships.
Yes, and only the Australian crew we didn't. They were not there because of Corona. They couldn't participate. So we knew that our strongest opponent was not there until the Olympic final finally. So but we had a good season and good races. So yeah, we had a really successful and also really nice period.
Just talk to me about your crewmates in that Ford. Maybe you can just describe their personalities.
Yeah, well, we have the bow seat is Ellen Hogerwerf. She is really she has done a technical study. She's really organized. And then we have so she's the bow. So she talks us through everything. We have Imke. She's really I think she's like a bonding component. It's really nice to have someone like that in your crew. She can talk to everybody and really social person. And we have Veronique. She's really really strong, really determined. She is when you have an important race, she is really at her best always. I think we had a mix that worked really well.
And I think that one of the things that I remember with the Dutch team in Tokyo was, and with happened to your brother, was that there were COVID problems. I mean, how scary was that for you?
That was really stressful. My brother, so he was the unlucky person because he was the mandate went on a flight later because there was a corona case already in Holland, and he was the only one that was not in contact with this person, but so he was the only one considered safe.
Yeah.
And finally he got COVID, so that was really stressful because and every day it was like there was a new corona case, so we didn't really know where it came from. Everybody was really careful to stay with only their crew, to keep distance all the time. We were wearing this mask. You were scared to press the button for the elevator. You didn't know where it came from, and every day you had these tests with the spit.
Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow who's going to be next? It was like when someone knocked on our door, we were like, oh, hopefully it's not another one. And for example, the day, I think it was before the final even or the semi-final, we heard that our head coach also was infected with the coronavirus. So yeah, it was pretty stressful situation.
How did that affect your race preparation with Yosi testing positive for COVID and having to isolate? How did that affect you guys and how you prepared?
Well, it was not really nice that this was happening, but in the end, you really try, to be like this and to not let anything have an impact on you. So yeah, obviously it was not helpful in that period to be relaxed or something, but it didn't really have an impact. You are that well trained that you need to be capable that, okay, something happened, okay, I'm still going to do my best race now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you shouldn't be easily you're not easily exactly distracted. So yeah, it was not yeah, with this the just to have the feeling that the next day someone from your crew could be tested positive, or even yourself, it would be the worst. Yeah, that was not really a nice feeling.
So
But, yeah.
did he do the preparation, the talk for you on Zoom or something like that over video?
Yeah, so we still had our own coach, Titus. He was still there.
Oh,
Yeah, that was nice, Titus Wijsgeding. But yeah, with Josie, we were in Zoom with him. Yeah, so of course with the technology, it's really easy, to be in contact with everybody. So that's nice. And yeah, he also said to us, don't let this distract you. Or so yeah, it was good to see that he was calm, and yeah, it was nice.
so it's quite interesting because I remember my first Olympics and it was kind of different because it was a boycott Olympics.
Oh,
The
yes.
USA weren't there, and I remember walking around the Olympic Village and there were no flags on the flagpoles and things like that. But of course, Tokyo 2021 was a very different Olympics. I mean, did you feel pissed off that it was kind of like that and you couldn't stay out there and party or stuff like that after the competition?
Oh, I was very happy that we were able, to go to Japan. And of course, for them, it
Yeah,
was really with the organization, to keep Corona out of the Olympic Village. So I think the Japanese did a good job to, to make this happen, to even make this Olympics happen. So I was really happy that the Olympics took place, and I understand that they have to test, and that
yeah,
this was part of this Olympic Games, because otherwise they couldn't be there. So um, yeah, and it was, for me, it was still pretty impressive, to see the Olympic Village that is built for
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and to see so many sporters of other countries with, normally you only see rowers at a competition, and now to see all the different type of athletes, and some of them you have seen on the TV, and now they're eating in the same dinner hall. And
yeah.
it was really impressive. Yeah.
Wow. How much time did you have off after between the Olympics and when you started training again?
I don't remember exactly, but well, I have also done, some fun things. I went with Neruis to Basel,
Ah,
things like that. You can do that, and so yeah, that was really fun. But like the real training, I think somewhere in October, that's like the program started, and everybody came again to the Olympic Training Center.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is that you sometimes ask people how they got into the sport, first of all, but it seems like too obvious a question to ask you because of your mum and your dad. Could you just tell us about your mum and your dad and their careers in rowing and what influence that had on you?
Yeah, so my mom, she was Antje, yeah, Rehak was her original name. She's from the German team. she comes from so first west of Germany, and after it was reunited, so one Germany, and she was a world champion in 1994, and she so first it was a difficult period for her, because of the East countries and what happened there, and so. And she met my dad in Indianapolis, also in 1994.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, and
that's my last championships.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did you do?
7th.
Okay. Was it nice?
Yeah, nice. It was great. Yeah.
And so my dad, he's from the Dutch team, and he has won Olympic medal in gold medal in 8 and in double. In 1996 in 8 in Atlanta, and in 88 in Seoul in double.
Yeah. So was there ever any chance that you wouldn't be a rower?
Well, I have, because of my parents' history, first I didn't want to do rowing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and my dad, didn't, for him, I think he would have liked also if we would have done another sport. I have done during a long time judo.
Really?
Yeah. So but at one part, the coach, he asked me, "Oh, do you want to row on time in double with someone?" I was like, "Oh, okay." You row every day, and it's done. So, but I started, I think, when I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
Like that. So then, first you combine it, and after, like, as you know, with rowing, you need to spend a lot of time for training, and it's also fun because I was in a really nice training group at Delight with Edman, my coach. Like, I was like the only girl, and there were like 20 boys.
Really?
It was like racing, and I really loved that. It was really nice. Yeah, and so finally you end up training almost every day, and I stopped judo, and that's a bit how it went.
What color belt did you get up to?
Brown, unfortunately not a black belt, but recently I have done again judo, because through the Olympics I had met a coach in judo, and it's still really, I really love that sport as well. So maybe one day I will have a black belt. I would like that.
Whoa. So how soon before you realized that you were going to be good in rowing and maybe could pursue it as your main sport?
Well, I don't know. It was just, for me, it was fun to do training, and of course you do some competition, and they went well. And I've also done junior world championships and that, and so that went well. So then you go, of course, you are the step to the senior. Sometimes it can be complicated, but after I was so I did the junior world championships in 2016, and after directly I started training with the seniors, and I went to under 23 in 2017.
That's quite a quick transition.
I don't know. Some people,
And that 4, I remember that was, I think I remember you raced at Henley and you did the under 23s that year. And I think in commentary, I called it sexy rowing.
Okay.
As much as
yes, I remember that.
Yeah, it was so smooth and so fluid. The draw was so flat. It was so easy at the front end. I mean, did that 4 just click straight away, or how did that happen?
It's like you said, it clicked right away, and we did Henley, and it was a surprise for us as well that it went so well, because in the semi-final we had a crew from the United States with some people that had a pretty impressive history. And first we were also behind, and then we were in front of them. So that was really, I think, one of the nicest races I have done. I remember, and it was fun because my dad, he never watched my races, but
Really?
yeah, and but that race he was watching, so we were behind. He left, and then we were.
Oh,
So
he
now,
was too nervous.
yeah, he's too nervous. He doesn't watch it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Has he watched your singles races in the World Cup? Do you know?
No,
Really? That's so interesting.
no, he doesn't watch it. And even my mom is not allowed to say something because he doesn't want to know, and he's too. I think he's too nervous for that. Yeah.
My when I raced the Olympics in Los Angeles, and we won a gold medal there, but for the whole race we were down on the Americans until maybe the last 150, 200 meters, and my dad was kneeling on the floor with his hands over his ears like this,
Yeah.
not wanting to look.
And finally, you passed that.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. But oh, that's really interesting. So so the very next year in 2018, you were in the Dutch women's quad. So tell me how that move came about from sweep rowing, which you were very good at, to crew sculling.
Yeah. So the girls from the four, Veronique, she did internship in a part of that year. Imke, she went in 8, and Elspeth as well. And so me, I think I also wanted to maybe to do something different. So we were also I was also in double in that year one time to try, and with Rose, and finally I ended up rowing the quad at the Europeans, and also there were championships, and it was very nice, different, and it went pretty well. Yeah.
It went very well because you got a bronze medal. Was that what you were aiming for, a podium finish, or did you hope for more? What were the sensations that you had when you won that bronze medal?
Well, we were very happy because it was just that close to become fourth.
Oh, I can't remember that.
Yeah, I remember it was very close. So I don't really remember, but I think every medal you win, you should be happy about it. And to become fourth, I think it's really the worst that can happen. So it was good that we won the bronze medal, and yeah.
So who was it? Do you remember who it was that came fourth?
I have a bad memory about races, but I think, or it was. I thought it was China, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I think it was China, actually. Yeah, and did you come through them in the last 500 like the Dutch crews often do?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm really bad at remembering races, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting that you were in that quadruple scull and that got a medal, but then the next year you're back in the 4. How did that happen? What was that decision all about?
Yeah, so they so we knew that the 4, well, this 4 was good, and then Ellen, she joined us because she was one in 2017. She finished first 3D. Oh, 2018. Yeah, so in 2018 she came back, and so 2019 we were, of course, it's not like, okay, you have a 4, you do some racing, who's going to be on starboard, who's going to be on starboard. We try different combinations, and then the races went directly pretty well in 4, and so it didn't change since then. Of course, you still have to race, but every time we continue to be the 4. So
yeah. And so you won your silver medal. Is your silver medal at home with you, or is it with your parents?
Yeah, this at home with me. Yeah.
Ah, I kind of imagined all these Olympic medals and world medals on the floor, on the wall in the Florijn house. But
No, but we're not really like that. I think it's not like no.
no. So, what does your brother think of your success, and how'd you get on with your brother? Because he's also in the Dutch team.
Yeah, well, we get on really well, and we well, I think it's obvious, but because he's my brother, I'm his sister, we want the best for each other. And when I'm really happy and pleased does when he has done a good race or a good result, and the same for him. So he's really proud of me when I do something well, and it's really nice to like this person. He always wants the best for you, and yeah, in both ways. So yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So, talk to me a bit about your training program. Not on the water, because you said it's already different than it was under Josie Verdonschot. But talk to me about the kind of land training or any cross training that you do, as well
Uh,
as rowing.
we we also have some training on the bike. Uh, yeah, but mostly personally, I don't like racing bike too much, to be
Really?
honest.
Why not?
Well, I like it. For example, I'm half German, so sometimes I go to Germany. I like to go in the mountains, but Holland is flat, so it's only flat, and I don't like especially to bike in a group, because then you're watching in front of you,
Yeah.
and yeah, you don't watch and it's always what I experience is that biking with the it's always just a little bit too long, and it's not like you can stop. Me, I like to be chill, to have to stop to eat the bread, and it's always like we need to have the speed 32 kilometer per hour. Okay, let's go. But I'm really not really like that when I
Yeah,
do bike.
yeah.
So yeah, on the land we do biking. So most of the people race biking, and me, I like to do running sometimes, but I don't do it too often. And we have, of course, weightlifting, and yeah.
What do you do in terms of weightlifting? Do you do maximum heavy weights, or do you do lighter weights and do it in a circuit?
Well, both. It's
Ah,
in a specific period, more weight, and then less weight. Yeah,
yeah.
depends of when in the season.
And how much training do you do on the ergometer?
Not too much. When we can row, we row. So we don't do too much training on the ergometer.
Yeah,
And yeah, only if it's like when there was ice. So during the winter, I had 2 times there was ice, so we had to do it on the RP3.
ah,
Yeah, and just sometimes, of course, we have a test on the RP3. So then one day before, we do a training on the RP3.
yeah. That's really interesting. I was going to ask you what your PB is on the 2K on the RP3.
My PB is 6:27.
Wow, that's pretty cool. When did you do that?
Well, so we don't do it too long on the RP3, because first we did it on the concept.
Yeah,
So I think it is the test was during the trials in February and March.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you did 6:27 on the concept too.
No, on the RP3, not on the concept. No.
That's good.
On the RP3, of course, like as you know, it's not the same as the concept.
Yeah.
You are slower. Yeah, because on
Yeah.
RP3 you don't have to move your own body weight.
Yeah, I had the visions that the Dutch team would be spending a lot of time on RP3s, but but that's not the case, is it?
No, until now I didn't spend too much time on RP3. Just sometimes it's more practical. It didn't happen a lot, but because I'm a student, so sometimes it's okay. I am really hurry, and of course, it takes less time to do it on the RP3 than to go to the Amstel to take your boat to row. There's always more time when you row, so sometimes just because it's more quicker, I've done it on the RP3, but not a lot.
Yeah, and just thinking about the Dutch team as a whole, your brother is in the quadruple scull, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And I'm trying to remember where they finished in Poznan. Sorry,
they were fourth.
They were fourth.
Yes.
So how did he feel about that? Was he frustrated not to be on the podium, I guess?
Well, yeah, of course he was not pleased with the result, but Finn is always like directly to switch, like, okay, it's like this, how can we improve next time, what can we do better, but no, he was not pleased.
Yeah. So what is the chance that the Dutch crews that we saw in the World Cup, Metsmakers and Broinink and Melvin Tweller in the single, what is the chance that they will be the same crews for the World Championships or the European Championships, do you think?
I have really no idea, to be honest. And yeah, the men as well, they have the evaluation. I don't know what the coaches want, which boats they are going to put the main focus on. And like, for example, Koen is still doing his internships.
Yeah.
And Broinink is doing, I think it is PhD.
Yeah.
Correctly, something. So he's also busy with that. So I don't know exactly also what they want to do now, and how it's going to develop. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah. After the Olympics, were Dutch rowers famous in Holland because of the good results, or was it just coming back and not much fuss about the medals?
Well, the Dutch, so the Dutch sporters in general, they had really a lot of medals, 36 in
Wow.
total. So well, of course, the Olympic Games are big, so more attention. But after rowing is a small sport, and all the sports that won medals. So I don't know exactly how it is in other countries, but because of all the result, you were not. It was not the main focus on rowing, which I can understand. But still, you have directly after the Olympic Games, there are still a lot of things, to celebrate. You go to the beach in Scheveningen, there's a party. They, yeah, so of course it's still really different than every other tournament you have had.
Yeah, yeah. I know you don't yet know if you're going to be in the single for the European Championships. But I know that Emma Twigg is racing in the single scull at Henley, and you must have a little bit of you thinking, I'd really like to test myself against Emma Twigg and see what happens.
Well, of course, she's the Olympic champion, so she's to race her, that would be really great. I would like that to, yeah, she's, I think, one of the best rowers of the world, so it would be really amazing. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be this year or another time, and exactly how it's going to be.
Yeah, yeah. I think she's also entered in a double scull as well. I'm not quite sure whether she's doubling up or plans to double up in the World Championships or not.
Well, that would be tough, I think, but
yeah,
if you do that, it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
What's it like for you to miss the Hollenbecker, Henley, and Lucerne? Do you feel you'd like to have raced at least one of those events?
Well, obviously these competitions are really really fun, and yeah, you know, Lucerne, it's I think one of the most beautiful places on earth where I
Yeah.
it's it's nice to be there, but I can understand, you know, the argumentation of the physiologist and the coach to, yeah, you know, they make a training plan and to be the best at
Yeah.
some period. So that's why we don't race in these regattas. So of course I understand that. A part of me thinks it's a pity to not be there and, you know, to see the races that you can see all the races and you're not there. But I understand.
Yeah. Will you go to the Hollenbecker to watch?
Yeah, I'm going to watch my. I have also a little brother, another little brother, and he's
No.
yeah, he's but he's really younger than me, and he's going to race the single.
What's
Beer,
his name?
Beer.
Beer.
Yeah, so he's going to
Oh.
race the single. He's in junior, and I will watch him and some other people. Yeah, that I know from Neerhuis, Vileite. I'm going to watch. Yeah.
Wow.
It's nice like that to watch it. Yeah.
And is your dad the same about watching your little brother as he is about watching you?
Well, I was surprised he has watched one of Beer's races, but it's the same. He's not really relaxed about it, and he also wants to take his hands off us, to not interfere and
Yeah.
let us do what we want to do. So that's also why he's a little bit wants to take his hands off it.
So he never talks to you about technique?
No.
Wow.
No. Well, we had, you know, some discussion, like for me and my dad, food is really important.
Yeah.
He, you know, he has made some mistake when he was a younger rower, like he had some crazy diet, like a chocolate diet or a nut diet. Because when you do like you only eat nuts or only chocolate, your performance is not going to be better. So, like, you know, those mistakes, he wants, for example, me not to make them. So, but for me, it's the same. Like I eat a lot of bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas are really good, but I have also made some mistake. Like I think, okay, a banana is good. So before a race, I said, okay, banana is good. So I'm going to eat 10 bananas. So for one race, one time I ate 10 bananas, but I wouldn't advise you to do that because then you are really thirsty. And I have never been so thirsty in my life as that race.
Oh.
That's not what I would advise you to do. Yeah. So of course you make some mistakes, you learn, and
Yeah. Who do you, when you go to the Olympics or the World Cups, which crews do you like to watch? Who do you admire? Who do you like?
Well, I really like to watch the long boats. Like the eight for me, it's really impressive. You know, the best eight to, you know, it's the highest boats, really the quickest boat, and I find the pair a really beautiful boat to be
Yeah.
to only one side and to be, you know, you have to work so well together to make that good. And yeah, well, the single scull, I like it. Yeah, well, I like a lot of boats of course, but well, the double. Well, now I'm going to say all the boats that exist. Yeah, I think the eight. Yeah, it is. I think really impressive. The big
Yeah.
boats.
I love to watch the German 8 paddling when
Yeah,
they,
exactly. Yeah,
I think they do it really well.
yeah,
And I think even though the 8 is new this year, the German 8, it still looks like a German 8 looks, which I think is, they've done a good job with the technique.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
So you are going to be a student. You're in your first year studying law.
Yes.
So how long is your course? How many years?
Bachelor, is the word in English? It is 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. So I I would like first, to have my bachelor degree, and after I will see what I'm going to do with that.
Yeah.
I like it, so yeah, it's nice.
So
I like something next to rowing, and I have in the past I have done medicine.
really,
I don't have a degree in that. I couldn't tell you something, but oh, I'm sorry, that's my phone. Yeah, so now I'm in my first year, because also like everyone, I wanted to start last year, so now I'm a first year student. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So is there any chance that you will definitely row to Paris?
Yes.
And maybe there's a possibility of Los Angeles as well.
Yes, but I heard that Los Angeles is going to be shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not so good for you.
No. No, but maybe that's still right. But after, when it's going to be 1,000 meter, I have to quit. That's not. No. But I think then you're going to have a different type of athlete than we have now.
Yeah. So how long have you got of your week off, your time off? How many more days have you got without training?
Well, coincidence, I didn't do that much training because I was really busy. But this morning I rode in a near ice 8. I was rowing for someone. She's going to start the Holland Baker in the junior skiff. She's going to Henley and to the Junior World Championships. She's the stroke seat of the near ice 8, which I think is impressive to do both, to be in 8 and also to do the single. So, but she's going to do the Holland Baker, and then I only one time. So I rode one time. I did one time. I did a run with one of my best friends, Elspeth, who I rode in 4 with in 2017. We did a run, but I didn't do a run in like 1 or 2 months, so I couldn't walk during 3 days.
Your legs. Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. So yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Karolien, we've been talking for nearly an hour. I don't know where all the time has gone, but it's been fantastic to listen to you. I just wanted to ask you one final question, and it's quite a difficult question, so I'm not sure if you maybe have answered it or maybe, but do you have one race that you look back on in your career and think this was my best race, or this was one of my best races?
Well, the race, I would say 2 races. I think I am really proud of our race in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And the race I told you about in Henley in 2017, when we were behind and then we move and we were in front. That was also a race that I remember.
Wow.
Yeah. And also it was the first time in Henley, I think, for everyone who plays for the first time in Henley. Everything is overwhelming. And so many different aspects. Like rowing is just, it's not the most important thing in Henley. It's to show you look good, and it's like you go back 100 years in time. Yeah, I really love that. It's so different than all of the other competitions you are ever going to do.
So if you are still in the single, you might come back and race. Is it the Princess Royal, the singles event at Henley? I think it might be.
I think so.
The women's singles event.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 year you might do that.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I really love that. Yeah.
Well, Karolien, I know you don't know what boat you're going to be in, but I really hope to see you in the single scull in the Europeans and the Worlds, just because I think it's been fantastic what you've done so far. And it would be nice to complete the journey for this season.
Yeah, I would like that. Yes, we will see.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Karolien. We'll end the live part of this interview now. You've been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on Crossy's Corner.
Thank you.